When winter came that year, it came early. First, the sheep died. Then the ground froze so hard that the plough struck it like iron against stone. And finally, word came from the south. 3 farms had been burned. 2 men were dead. The enemy was coming. Eirik stood outside the hall and watched the snow fall. He had always believed courage felt like fire, like anger, like blood pounding through the body as a man gripped his shield and charged forward. But that morning, he felt nothing. No fear, no anger, not even grief, only exhaustion. The kind that comes when a man has fought for so long that even hope begins to feel like another burden to carry. Behind him, the men sat in the hall. They spoke in low voices. Some wanted to flee north. Some wanted to surrender. An old man said the gods must have turned away from them. Eirik said nothing. He had thought the same. His brother had died in autumn. His wife the year before. The harvest had failed. Now the enemy was coming. How many signs did a man need? Perhaps there were times when the world simply said, "Enough." Eirik walked down toward the shore. His sword hung at his side, but he barely felt its weight. The sea was black beneath the winter sky. He sat on a stone, and for the first time in his adult life, he did not want to stand up again. That was where Svala found him. She was the strangest person in the village. She was the Völv. She sat beside him without asking. For a long while, she said nothing. Then she pointed toward the sea.
Do you see that wave?
Eirik sighed.
I have no time for your riddles.
Yes, you clearly do.
He looked at her. She did not smile.
Do you see the wave?
Yes.
It rises.
Yes.
And then?
It falls.
Svala nodded.
And the next wave?
It rises too.
Eirik shook his head.
If this is your great wisdom, you could have spared yourself the walk.
You think you are the wave.
Then she walked away. Eirik stared after her.
What in hell's name is that supposed to mean?
The woman did not turn around. She walked answering without turning to look at him.
Find out.
That same evening, the scout returned. The enemy would be there by dawn. There were nearly twice as many of them. No one sang in the hall that night. No one boasted. No one told stories of old victories that night. Men sat with cups in their hands, staring into the fire. Eirik looked at them one by one. Torsten, the farmer, who had 3 little daughters. Young Aslak, who had never stood in a real battle. Old Bjorn, whose knees barely carried him anymore. They were waiting for Eirik to speak. He was their chieftain. He had no words. At last he stood.
I do not know if we will win tomorrow. I do not even know if the gods stand with us, and I will not lie to you. I am afraid, I am tired. I have lost more than I thought a man could lose and still remain standing. When I woke this morning, I wanted to run. But then I learned something.
He glanced toward the door. Outside, the wind howled.
I do not have to believe in victory to walk through that door tomorrow. I do not have to feel strong. I do not even need hope. I only need to stand up.
At dawn, they stood on the hill above the village. 43 men. The enemy came through the mist below. Far more men than theirs. Eirik felt the fear come. His hands shook. All night, he had waited for something to happen inside him. For Odin to fill him with fury. For Tyr to give him courage. For his dead ancestors to whisper strength into his ear. Nothing happened. He was still tired, still afraid. Still a man who wanted to turn around. Then the enemy began climbing the hill. Eirik lifted his shield and took 1 step forward. Not 10. 1. The man beside him did the same, then the next, and the next. 43 men walked down the hill. The battle did not last long, because it never became a battle. When the enemy saw them coming, they stopped. Eirik did not understand why. Then he saw it. Behind the enemy line, a rider appeared. Then another. Then another. The enemy began turning. Shouts rose. Something was wrong. An army was approaching from the south. Not theirs. Not the enemy's. The king's men. The enemy was trapped between two forces. Their formation broke. Minutes later, they were fleeing. Eirik's men stood halfway down the hill with raised swords, watching their enemy run. Aslak started laughing. Then Bjorn. Soon nearly all of them were laughing. "We won!" someone shouted, but Eirik said nothing. He looked toward the sea, and suddenly he understood Svala's words. Later, he found her by the shore.
I know what you meant.
Do you?
I thought I was the wave. I thought that when I fell, it was over.
And?
But the sea does not fall because one wave does.
Better.
Eirik sat beside her.
The strange thing is, I thought my trial was the battle.
Men often do.
But the battle was barely fought.
No.
Eirik stared out over the water for a long time. Then he began to laugh.
So what in hell was the trial?
The hill.
The hill?
You were never meant to defeat the army. You were meant to defeat the moment when you had already decided not to climb that hill.
And there, Eirik understood something he never forgot. The greatest victories are rarely sung about. No skald writes songs about the morning. A man rises from his bed when everything inside him says no. No rune tells of the hand that grips the shield while it trembles. No stone is raised for the man or woman who continues without knowing whether anything will ever get better. But perhaps that is exactly where fate changes direction. Not when you feel strong, not when you know you will win, but when the darkness says, "Stay down," and you answer, "No, not today." Skål, warrior. See you soon?